When I was a kid, I lived vicariously through magazines and grainy videos and stories I heard from hot rodders and people into imports, and my dad and I worked on our family cars, got my first car going, and it really stuck with me. There was this feeling that there was always a goal that you could accomplish, and there was something waiting for you out there. To this day, I try and remember that it's not always going to go your way, and it's not going to be what you expect. It can be something incredibly uplifting, amazing, ethereal, and just world-changing. Or it can be something that will tear you down to your bare shell and leave you dead in the water. What makes it an adventure is how you look at it. It can be the worst experience of your life, or it can be one of the most incredible stories that you ever thought you could go through, that you ever imagined. This one may not have ended how myself or anyone expected, but I would 100%, 150%, I would never change it. I would do it all over again. So my journey began late Friday evening before the rally. After putting my daughter to bed, I hit the road south into Washington. And then in the morning, I turned east towards Mount Rainier, a place that I've always wanted to see. The first day on the road was really, really relaxed. I just took my time, sort of practiced what I preached in my trip from California and just slowed down, took everything in that I could. I stopped up on the parkway near Rainier with the GFX 50R and just hopped out and enjoyed snapping photos and walking around and just seeing the Pacific Northwest and actually absorbing it for once instead of just passing through. Every trip that I've ever taken, I've really just breezed by the entire area and not really paid attention. This time I'm really, really glad that I did. It was worth the time, it was worth the effort. After stopping at a Starbucks to quickly edit an on-the-road episode, I started making my way east towards Idaho. Blasted through Spokane, found some farm roads to have some fun on, and eventually made my way into Wallace, Idaho, stayed at the Stardust Motel. I'd always wanted to stay here because this is the town that was in Dante's Peak, which was actually one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. Staying overnight and then walking the streets in the morning kind of was a neat feeling of nostalgia, and honestly made the first few days of the trip just so enjoyable. Such a neat little small town. Can't wait to go back. The next day on the road, I pulled into the odyssey that is Montana. The I-90 runs along Clark Fork River with plenty of space to get out take in a whole bunch of what the landscape has to offer. These beautiful river valleys just cascade down the side of railroad tracks and interstates and back roads. It's absolutely wonderful. Had a little bit of time to pull over at this spot on Clark Fork, rest for a little bit, watch some rock climbing, and just let time slow down for a few minutes. It was a really nice feeling. From there, I headed towards West Yellowstone. I left Interstate 90 and started heading down on back roads. I crisscrossed through a bunch of small towns and rural areas. It was really neat. Tons of abandoned buildings and old cars. It was getting pretty late in the afternoon. Rolling down the highway, I saw off to my right a long stretch of gentle bends in a gravel road. Led out to a little fishing lake in the middle of the plains outside West Yellowstone. It was absolutely gorgeous out. Of course, I had to drop into the gravel and test out the car's new setup. Wasn't trying to go crazy. Just wanted to feel how compliant the coilovers were on a rougher surface. Even though they're not set up for it, they actually handled it pretty well. This is Yellow Speed Street coilovers, and they did really well. It made for a fantastic photo op. Riding a high. The car was doing well. I was feeling great. I was about to see some of the most gorgeous scenery I had ever seen in my life. Rolling into West Yellowstone, I really had no plan or expectation about what I wanted to see. I came across the Lower Geyser Basin and happened upon the Fountain Paint Pot area and trail. I was treated to one of the most spectacular views I have ever seen out in the wild. Both the fountain and Clepsida geysers releasing thermal energy from the core of the earth into the atmosphere was unlike anything I had ever witnessed in my life. Again, only seeing it in books and online and magazines, and I was here. I didn't look on the map, I didn't see it coming, I simply stumbled upon it. I don't know if this organic way of discovering something made it that much more special, but it felt like I was on another planet. It felt so insane. I made my way out of Yellowstone, down towards Jackson, where I'd wake up early to see the Grand Tetons in the morning. Woke up super early before dawn, hit the only coffee spot that was open in town. It was already packed, it was pretty cool to see. I rolled about 25 minutes out of town and took a drive along the bottom of the Grand Tetons.
One problem that I am having is this wheel bearing is on its way out. I'm pretty far from home and I'm pretty far from where I'm going, so that could be an issue, but I'll deal with that as I go.
Wheel bearing noise be damned. I enjoyed my time snapping away with the GFX. Freezing my ass off, it was pretty fun, and definitely hope I can get back there one day. Maybe go in the winter. The visual sensory barrage continued as I made my way through the Wind River Reservation and the Painted Hills in Wyoming. Another gorgeous spot. Got down to an O'Reilly's to find some parts.
O'Reilly's. Here in Landon they had two bearings in stock, so grab both just in case, you never know. I do have another one at home, but if the other side goes on the way back, I'll figure that out. But I'm gonna start making my way to Cheyenne and hopefully find a shop or a parking lot or a Harbor Freight where I can get this done. So let's continue.
This was a point where I kind of had to make a decision on routing. Would I continue east towards Nebraska and Cheyenne, or would I cut south, head down through Denver and into Kansas. I had just crossed Nebraska on power tour, so I put on my ruby slippers, headed for Kansas.
All right, this evening has become rather interesting. So we got the wheel bearing issue persisting, and I just pulled over to a rest stop to go to the bathroom and grab a water out of the trunk, and as I came back, I noticed my exhaust was hanging pretty low. So I went and looked underneath. You can see there, hopefully it focuses. It's completely broken off. The other side is cracked, so some electrical wire and zip ties. Tied it back up. Hopefully it holds. I got 80 miles to go tonight. Just gonna limp it down the freeway. Ugly ass highways. Anyway, we can continue on. It is the next day. I'm at J-Rod's Repair here in Goodland, Kansas, and they fixed up the muffler for me. They welded the top and then he strapped around the bottom, got it hung up. And I don't think it's going anywhere. The wheel bearings are still loud as shit, but I'm gonna persist and we're gonna just go get to Missouri and then we'll deal with it tonight. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, no other issues. It's running good, let's get some gas, let's get some food, and hit the highway all the way to Overcrest. See you guys over there. If I'm being completely honest, driving across Kansas isn't the most exciting part of the adventure. If you're taking the interstate, there's not a whole lot to see out there, but I did spot this old gas station from the freeway that looked like it had suffered a pretty serious fire, as some of the gas pumps had even began to melt, which probably could have been more catastrophic, but looks like it was confined to the main building, which is now all but gone. This boat parked on the lot made for some interesting photographs, added a weird vibe to it. I headed down the county roads nearby to explore the windmill area and see some of the farms and just try to break up the monotony of driving straight for hours on end. Jumping off the freeway and exploring definitely helped pass the time. It seemed like the day flew by, and before I knew it, I was in Missouri.
Good morning, Mitch.
What up, dude? Good morning.
Every time I see you,
Your car's broken.
good old Scoobies. I'm at Mitch's place here in Bolivar, Missouri, and he was kind enough to let me use his floor jack and his garage.
Get this thing fixed up.
His beautiful home here. Look how nice it is out here. The bearing is definitely smoked.
It's gone. It's gone, dude.
Just got it apart. Only took like half an hour. Like I said, it's not too bad. But as you can see, it's ejecting its guts. And reason for that is because it's completely just ripped. It's a good thing that I took it apart because that wasn't going to last much longer. Not too bad to get out. That's all the hardware for it, so.
All right, pretty good. So, kind of went to debacle DEFCON 12 here. Took the hub, or sorry, we took the knuckle to a shop to get the bearing pressed out, and well, something moved, but it wasn't the bearing. So yeah, that's the tie rod arm broken off, or sorry, the caliper mount broken off, which is not good. So Mitch's brother was coming through Springfield. There was a U-pull down there that had a 99 or
Whatever.
a GC. It's a GC. Maybe? Yeah, it was a GC hub, and they pulled it for us. He's picking it up, and hopefully the bearing is good enough, and we're gonna slam it in there and hit the road because we got places to be and people to see, and
Fun times to
we
have.
kind of like to be there. So let's hope this is all hunky dory in about an hour or so. It's never that easy. Anyway, see you in a few. Probably can't even hear me. I'm gonna try anyway. The shop that we took it to, the knuckle broke. I'm trying to press it out. I think the guy just pressed it on the wrong side or on the wrong part. I think he was trying to press the whole bearing out the front. With a Subaru, you gotta shoot the hub out the front and the bearing out the back of the knuckle. I don't think he did that. Fair enough, whatever, shit happens. I'm not gonna be mad about it. Got a new bearing, of course. I had two on me. We got Mitchell's brother to stop in Springfield on his way up to Bolivar here at a junkyard that said they have an Impreza knuckle. So he picked that up. We were hoping maybe that the bearing and everything would be good. We were wrong. The bearing was smoked. So I called the shop that broke the first one. I said, hey, I got a knuckle. Can you guys just press it for me? Or can I please do it? They said, no, we can't. It's insurance. Fair enough. I was like, look, can I just watch? I don't want to be the guy on the shoulder, but I was like, I got a lot riding on this. Can you just help me out? They said, sure, bring it over. At Advance Auto Repair in Bolivar, they're super nice. They said, don't worry about it. The first hub's on us, and good to go. The brake rotor was rubbing on the caliper because the mounting for the caliper is a little bit off. I think it might be a little bent, which is fine. We spaced it out with some washers. We got it to free up. Now we're rolling. I can hear the other side making noise, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna roll with it for now. I gotta give it a little bit of a toe adjustment. We lost a little bit of alignment, but we're still going. I got Mitch in front of me. We're ripping across the back roads of Missouri going to the Ozarks. And it doesn't get much better than this. We'll see you guys on the road. With one of the most eclectic trios of cars that I can ever say I've convoyed in, we blistered down the back roads of Missouri into Arkansas. Finally arrived at night zero of Overcrest. The Overcrest crew had once again outdone themselves, partnered with Travis from Mountain View Go-Kart Track and a bunch of other locals and great volunteers. It's made for one of the most epic nights that I've had on the road. All of us racing and bumping and enjoying good times like we were kids. It was an incredible scene. Bookended by beautiful cars everywhere and great conversations. It really bubbled the excitement for Overcrest Rally to the surface. Just left us all waiting and wondering what is Arkansas gonna have in store for us. In between night zero and the actual rally kickoff is registration day. So sort of a free day where we all go around exploring and enjoying sort of time in between driving these back roads and exploring. We made a plan to meet up with Skylar and the guys from Able Film Company to shoot the GC8 in the surrounding area for an upcoming project that we have with Nokian Tires. It's always fun to be the stunt driver and be able to create and enjoy sharing a space with like-minded people. From there, it was time for registration, so I went to hang out, catch up with some friends, make some plans, just enjoy everything that Blanchard Springs in Arkansas has to offer.
Alright, well, it's been a hell of a journey. I'm out here shooting with Able Film Company out in Arkansas. We're having a great time. This place is absolutely beautiful. Already had a great experience. We're not even on the rally yet. It's going to be a hell of a day tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to this one. Yeah, time to go enjoy some backcountry. I'll see you on the road.
What do you guys think of that Arkansas road out there?
The Overcrest team had rented out the entire resort of JoJo's Catfish Wharf outside Mountain View. After dinner, we all hung out in the parking lot, swapping stories and fixing cars, snapping some photos. There was an excitement in the air, a calm excitement, just, you know tomorrow's gonna be epic. It's like this massive crescendo was on the way, and we were all ready for it.
I want to thank everybody for being here. I mentioned it a little bit last night when I was talking about things that, time is our most valuable resource. Whistling past the graveyard of time, forgetting that every single thing we do is a sacrifice. Everything. When you go to the grocery store, you're sacrificing. When you come on the Overcrest Rally, you're sacrificing. It just sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. But
The first few hours of the day one were really laid back. After hitting a quick gravel run from Highway 9 over to a place called Calico Rock, we all stopped in for some coffee. The rally took over the small town. Not in a hostile way, of course, but the streets were packed with just all kinds of cars and all sorts of locals conversing with everybody. It was awesome. From there, my friends Christian and Amanda joined me to hit some gravel and join up with the film crew to grab a few more shots. The rest of the day It seemed like it was all Subaru. Just us and our two GC8s screaming down the back roads and highways in Arkansas. Christian's car is really cool. It's actually a flat 6 swap, and it sounds like an absolute jet fighter when it goes by. We were in search of gravel for most of the day, but ended up sticking mostly to county roads and tarmac. We ran across a few more rally goers, stopped wherever we could to stretch our legs and hang out and just enjoy it. We joined up with a group, hit a convoy, put the pedal down. Just like that, day one of the rally was in the books. I pulled into Harrison, Arkansas at the Seville Hotel, took a walk around town, grabbed some food, snapped some photos. This town was incredibly picturesque, a little bit on the creepy side. Just, I guess because the fall time of year, I felt like I was in sort of a Halloween town, but it was a really neat vibe. I had a lot of fun and crashed hard, went to bed, got up in the morning and made my way to Dogpatch, Arkansas, where the last day of Overcrest Rally was kicking off. The kickoff for the last day of Overcrest was actually an abandoned theme park in Dogpatch, Arkansas. From there, we headed into the twisting hills south towards Jasper, Arkansas, where the first meetup was for coffee at a small cafe called Peggy Sue's. Watching everybody roll through town was a really neat way to kick off the day. Snapped a whole bunch of photos and got to hang out with some more friends. I keep saying it over and over and I feel like a broken record, but it was just a fantastic time. The entire rally it's just, I can't say it enough. With twisting roads on my mind, I joined up with Mitch and a whole bunch of awesome people. And we hit the road. Caught up with some other rally goers, having a quick interaction with some law enforcement. They were actually really cool. Every local that we met was super stoked for all of us to be there and was very happy to share the road with all of us. Mitch's 67 Cougar had been experiencing a few issues throughout the day. It had actually died at one point as we were pulling away from our stop. He was fiddling with the car a little bit. We had pulled away to this rest stop. The Overcrest Freeride Scirocco was there and the guys were having troubles getting it started. So of course, everyone jumped in to help give it a push and get it bump started. That's the greatest thing about this community is you're never far from somebody willing to lend a hand and get you back on the road. We joined them shortly thereafter and got after it. We had an incredible convoy of cars and people, and it was such a relaxed drive. Of course, the sounds of V8s, inline 6s, and turbos ringing off Ozark National Forest. Made for one of the best driving days I've ever had. And it was only about to get better. At some random point, we were coming down a hill and I spotted a pull-out with a gravel road off to my left. I quickly called over the radio, guys, I'll catch up with you in a bit, I'm gonna hit some gravel. I don't know the road, I don't know where it is, and I don't care to look. I want it to live in my memory as one of the best times flinging the car sideways I've ever had. After a little while of exploring the gravel, I met up with everybody at Hagerville Grocery. We invaded the parking lot and enjoyed some delicious food. And just hung out, waited for some more rally goers to come by. We shot the shit for a little while, took some more photos. And then we began to make our way up the highway. We had planned on doing the rest of the tarmac route. We pulled off at a junction as Mitch's car was beginning to act up again, and he wanted to look it over. He was swapping plugs, we were all hanging out, but time was growing short on the day. So we just decided to take the quick route over to OARC and get to the film fest and finish off the rally. Found a shortcut which ended up being a gravel road, which I was super excited to get on, but I wouldn't get to experience it the way I thought. I was nowhere near the car. I had parked on flat ground with the e-brake up, car running, ready to run some of the best gravel of the day. Better than what I even saw before. I heard the crash as I was helping a friend turn around and ran over. I still don't know why, but for whatever reason, the e-brake didn't grab or it let off, and the GC8 rolled over the side of the mountain.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We got it! Let's do this! No, he's got his brake on.
Wait, I got it. No, good. We're all famous lap.
No, you're good. You are.
Yes.
Back it up a little bit. There's a rock there still.
Well, it'll go backwards. You good?
Is your wheel straight? It's fucking straight.
Holy crap.
Show up tie rod axle.
Dude, you're good.
Show up tie rod axle. It'll be straight.
I think you're driving back to British Columbia, my guy. You are.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
We'll see how she drives on the road.
Well, let's just get to OR. I'm still going down the gravel.
Just for fun, hit your fog lights. They both still work. They both still work.
Don't go in the ditch. I'll try my best.
There was no shortage of a monumental effort to get the GC8 off the side of that mountain. The guys flagged down 2 Jeeps, one with a winch, to tie around a tree on a sketchy snatch line, using WD-40 as lubricant to slide the cable through and act as a pulley, and a fulcrum to pull the car on a proper angle. John, Fred, Mitch, Tyler, Jerry, if you ever see this, Dave, Heather, Kayla, Matthew, Patrick, Matt, Ryan, all you guys, I can't thank you enough for helping me. Without all of you being so motivating and so supportive in that moment, I think I was ready to just walk away and be okay with the car being where it is, or coming home on a flatbed. I don't know. I don't care to investigate deep into my thoughts to figure it out, because I'll take this experience over the ladder any day. Yeah, the car was hurt, but seeing all of you jump to action and help me was one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced in my life, and I'll forever be in debt and be grateful to you guys.
Okay. Let's get that winch.
I don't think you're leaking anything. I think we bend plastic out of the way. You assess battery damage.
That's
You know, it is
broken,
leaking, but
I'm wondering if I leave it and just get it down there, or
yeah. No, for now you're driving to OARC. Like, that's not a question.
Wait, is it 8 miles of dirt versus 30 miles of road?
Yeah, it's 28 minutes down this hill.
Lock and load!
Let's go.
I feel like such a dickhead.
This is fine. No, this is fine.
Just take it.
It's fun.
Get him up here. Get him up here. Come on, get in front.
Come on here. What's your name?
Jerry Liggett.
Good to meet you.
Jerry, you're the man.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
Hey, man.
You're helping a Canadian get home.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a photo that I'm never going to forget. Ever. I'll never forget any of you guys for helping me. It's my favorite one from the rally. The GC8 fired up flawlessly. I finished off the last 10 miles on dirt. Met up with the boys down at the film fest. Grabbed some food. Got to hang out with a bunch of friends. And even though it didn't quite go the way I thought, it was still the perfect ending to an incredible weekend.
With these things and had a little bit of fun.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you got here first. Nobody cares.
Okay.
I can't tell you the amount of times I've been asked, why do you go out to Overcrest? Why do you go on these trips? It's so much driving, it's so much time, so much money. The answer is, it's just worth it, no matter what. Whether you make it, whether you gotta turn around halfway, you get there on a tow truck, it's just worth it. All the experiences, all the new friends, all the old friends, all the good times you share. The cars are just what get you there. And the people are what inspire you to go. So it was time to go home. The front left of the car was pretty worse for wear. I could see the core support had begun to separate from the fender skirt, and the fender skirt itself was pretty damaged and would need replacement. But the car was together, it wasn't falling apart, the lights even worked. The main safety concern at the moment was freeing up the battery because it had been punctured, and I didn't want it to eject its guts all over the engine bay of the car. So, in an O'Reilly's parking lot, of course, we grabbed Fred's yank strap, which had saved us by tying it around a tree the day before, strapped it around a telephone pole and hooked it to the crunched front left, gave the car a few good back and forths. With Austin and Fred guiding me, feathered the clutch in and out, let the car roll, and we got it freed up.
And now it goes, yeah, come straight back. Oh, man. A little more. There you go. A little more. Ready? And just let it roll back. That's good. Yeah, keep doing that. All right, one more. Nice and easy. Hold on, we're getting there. Wait. The angle's almost there. I think. Wait. Yeah, but this is. All right, maybe it's okay. Goals, you guys should get rid of the battery out. Yeah, I mean, every time. Hang on, yeah. Pull it up a little further, get a little more speed, go backwards. Just so you give it a good yank. Yeah, just watch it go. Keep going. All right, now go. Oh yeah, that was really good. Even though this is happening, the radiator's fine. I know, man. A lot of this shit just goes through a lot. You could pull that a couple more times. I think it would help quite a bit. That's gonna work. It's really not bad. You have a nice night out of it. Is this horn thing gonna fall in there? Yeah. Nothing down there falling through. Alright, you can grab battery. Hell yeah. Alright. That worked really well. That was really good. That's so satisfying.
With the parking lot bodywork complete and a new battery in the car, we hit the road north. Fred offered me a spot to stay in Omaha, so I took him up on it and we crashed out early. We hit the road the next morning, I made it a total of 4 miles before the GC8 starting having real problems.
All right. Good morning from Omaha, Nebraska. It was still running up until a few minutes ago when it started misfiring really bad. And the engine is shaking. Not good. I'm going to start inspecting. I've also got to figure out why my flashers aren't working. I'm trying to make it the last 1,700 miles to home. And I guess we'll see how we do. But at this point, it's going to be quite the task. So a little bit of tinkering, and then hopefully we can get back after it.
Pulled into an O'Reilly's parking lot and started checking things over on the car. Couldn't find any vacuum leaks. Everything seemed normal. Nothing that had been pinched in the accident seemed to be having any issues. I just could not figure out why it was running so badly. At a loss, I decided to pull apart the cold air intake, take the air filter off, try and clean it out and see if that was restricting airflow. While I was in there, I inspected the intake air temperature sensor and cleaned it out with some throttle body cleaner that I grabbed from the O'Reilly's.
Alright, still in Omaha, just north of town. Fired a bunch of engine cleaner through the intake and drove it, and it cleared up. Had to drive it for quite a while before it cleared up, but it was running when I pulled into O'Reilly's here. Basically been picking O'Reilly's to jump in between. So I got that figured out, and now I'm just working on the other little nitpicky things. I got a flasher relay that I'm going to try and install and see if I can get my signals working, because they are not. And I'm going to try and unpinch the wire because I'm pretty sure it's screwed. I straightened out this fog light, so I actually have 3 lights now, which is good. And I'm just going to keep picking at it and try and make it a little bit more roadworthy, and then maybe figure out a more permanent solution to secure the hood. So, might get out of here in like half an hour or so. Then on to Canada. Alright, got a spare bulb now. And, put those on and make sure they work. If they do, we can see at night. I can drive at night. Oh, they both work! Dude, I'm gonna try the fog lights. It's the little things, guys. 1,700 miles home. Let's go.
Good morning from Rapid City, South Dakota. The car is doing its funky chicken like it was yesterday morning. It's running like garbage again. Tells me it's something temperature related because it didn't do it the whole rally. Didn't do it the day after we took off, so it was as soon as it was cold. Yeah, it just doesn't like the cold right now. I don't know what it is. Oh, I'm just gonna drive it because that seemed to be what cleared it up. Maybe the seafoam did, maybe the seafoam didn't, but if it doesn't start clearing up, I'll pull over and fiddle with it again, and if not, great, we'll just keep moving. So I'm gonna try and get, I don't know, try and make Idaho maybe tonight, but it's gonna be a task, so let's hit it.
A little ways up the highway, I found myself in Gillette, Wyoming. Looking on Google, I was trying to find a spot to grab some breakfast and found out there was a small cafe attached to the Frontier Auto Museum. So naturally I pulled in and grabbed a coffee and a breakfast bratwurst, paid the $14 admission and checked out the museum. It was actually pretty cool. Lots of old school shop stuff, lots of neon signs, neat things to look at. This was along the Upper Powder River in Wyoming. It was gravel as far as the eye could see. Even though I was having issues with the car, I still just felt the need to get out, continue exploring as much as I could, and take in every opportunity to go and see some new countryside. Continued on into Montana. Got late in the afternoon, and I once again found myself on a back road after chasing down a spot to look at the sunset. Seems hopelessly romantic and kind of silly, but ended up being one of the best detours I had taken on the entire trip. Once again, I found myself alone on a long gravel road on my way home, enjoying my car for its purpose, seeing new places, and just exploring. Later on that night, the car fought me once again. The wheel bearing that we swapped in Missouri used an automatic GC8 hub. What happens when you use that is it doesn't catch the back end of the bearing all the way. At that moment, I chalked it up to being a loose axle nut. The next morning, I found out that was not the case.
Well, that is where the rotor is contacting the caliper, and that is happening because the wheel bearing is blown again, really badly. Last you saw, I was tightening up the axle nut on it last night in I can't remember where I was, Butte or Billings or Bozeman, one of the Montana towns, and tightened it up, and it felt great on the highway. Started to actually hear it and feel it again, and I pulled in to a gas station just outside of Missoula here, and I could hear the rotor just grinding away on the caliper, and that's what that is. Because the wheel bearing is loose, and it's allowing the entire hub to rotate inside of the knuckle. So we got to start this journey all over again with the wheel bearing. I have one on hold over in O'Reilly's here. They happen to have one and a bearing in stock. I still have my other bearing too that I can use to press it. I'm going to go from there. It's going to be a long day. We got 10 hours to drive after this, but I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get on the road. I want to get home and see my girls. So it's been an incredible journey, but I'm at that point where I'm good. Let's get this fucking fixed. Rock and roll, baby. Let's do this.
Here we go again. Let's get this shit done. Toast. Okay, never without something fighting. So the ball joint didn't fit properly in this knuckle. I don't know if it's a manufacturing thing or whatever.
they're all the same. It should fit. The ball joints are all the same for these cars. I know this for a fact going through this last year. This is an 04 WRX ball joint on an 04 knuckle, and the hole for the bolt wouldn't line up with the detent on the ball joint. I don't know why. Dudes over here in Napa were super nice. The clearance did just enough to get the bolt tight. It's in there. It's kind of sketch, but I'm taking it out when I get home. I just need to make it home. Guys, I'm so exhausted. I just want to get back to girls. I'm gonna slam this in. We're gonna hit the road.
All right, wheel bearing is in. Drove it down to the gas station here. The guys at Napa were super cool, helped me out. They actually clearanced the ball joint recess because it wasn't clearing the eyelet for the bolt, which was super weird. It's all the same shit. Anyway, I think it's sorted. The car's still running like crap. It's doing its thing like it was yesterday. I'm just gonna drive it and hope it clears up like it did. If it doesn't, I'll have to take a look at it, but I really gotta get moving. So I got 2 corn dogs, a bunch of water, full of gas, full of oil. Time to hit the road.
GC8 held together for me for the rest of the trip. I crossed Washington in record time. I made it in the Pacific Northwest just in time to hit a monsoon. Going over the Snoqualmie Pass was a little bit sketchy, but I pulled into effort safe and sound. One final gas stop, and seeing some cool cars on the 405, I saw the sign for Vancouver. I turned north, and I didn't look back. If I could rewind the tape right back to the beginning of this, I'd do it the exact same. If I go back to the moment the car went off the side of a mountain, I would let it roll. There's a part of me that wishes, yeah, maybe I didn't have to do the work, but the other part of me knows that putting in the time and effort, the sacrifice, is always worth it. No matter what. In the moment, you can be down, your heart can sink. As long as you get back up, and you keep going, keep pushing to get where you want to go, to accomplish your goals, no matter what they are, you'll get there. When you turn back and look, it'll be another adventure. You'll be motivated to go on the next one. Start again. You don't need to wish for a trip back in time and to undo it all. Because the chance to do that is right in front of you.